6:30 in the morning, you wake me up to have a conversation and inform me about how I make you feel inside. You keep talking and I'm listening, but could you try to shut up? I'm almost getting dizzy now from the way you bum me out. I know that you wanted me to be someone I'm not, give you all my love and never mess it up. But I won't be pretending that I have some hidden love for you, baby. I'm done, I'm just done. Because I'm way too passive-aggressive for you, babe. I know that I can't be two-faced, but I won't feel like you do, babe. You know I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about mistakes. It's not like you'll get a retake. I'll never feel like you do, babe. Even if I try to, even if I try to, even if I try to, I'll never feel like you do. Yeah. I know you think we're good together. Every time I see your happy face, I wanna tell you to just leave me alone. Take a hint, don't be so selfish. I'm trying to make it easy, point you in the right direction, yeah. Could you stay away from me? 'Cause if you go to heaven, then I wanna go to hell. Think I would do well for myself. Because I'm way too passive-aggressive for you, babe. I know that I can be two-faced, but I won't be like you do, babe. You know I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about mistakes. It's not like you get a retake. I'll never feel like you do, babe. Even if I try to, even if I try to, even if I try to.
Went from MIA to LA on the run like I don't got an estate. I went from LA to the A on the run, you can tell where I stay. Counting all this paper I chase, no sleep, call me jet lag, baby. Counting all this paper I chase, no sleep, call me jet lag, baby. Been 1,020, spent 100 hundreds. Money come and gone, let's get straight to it. Been a businessman, it's bigger than music. Eyes on a new building with like 8 units. What's for sale, I might buy it all. Don't wanna put in work, now you just wanna ball. Got Louis bags with no money in them. Bigger the lie, the harder they fall. Fast route, for me it's always been a cash route. Bag route, spend some money, switch a piece of cash out. Always been a stand-up guy, never back down. Curry's on my team and got some pack outs. Went from MIA to LA on the run like I don't got an estate. I went from LA to the A on the run, you can tell where I stay. Counting all this paper I chase, no sleep, call me jet lag, baby. Counting all this paper I chase, no sleep, call me jet lag, baby. Savior of my city like I'm Luke Cage. This is real life, you're ballin' 2K.
Right now, it is a 3 versus 4 here. The angles here pretty good for Vision Strikers. One kill over there. Stacks takes out Godlike. Another one and a headshot in here from this angle right now. Coming down.
Paranoia catches to a TS.
Spike, they could maybe get a defuse, but it's not going to be easy. The only remainder here is Echo here going for that defuse.
The healing orb was used to exit to top him up. And Echo, oh, that's the sheriff. That's why you have to show risk.
We have the Rays rotating back over here. Great blind. There's
now for TNL, especially with Echo falling. Yep, there's goes in for that repeat on a deep flank through Ramen. They dodge. Godlike's, well, I guess I just kind of have to push. I have to King on this flank. Yeah, it's just not even possible. Can he get the final kill is the question. The answer is going to be yes. King is Paranoia used, so that draws out the aftershock, and King just peeks with it. Garage. King does arrive, but they need to get the spike. They need to stop the defuse. He cannot do it. And around towards ramps, perhaps.
You can see King here taking some very important shots.
Yeah, still going to be 4 members strong, but RP is on the flank. Comes out from mid, finds...
going into A, and I think they just
oh my
this.
God, RP! Puts himself straight in there, the double blast back into the showstopper. What a stylish way to end it.
We're back here at VALORANT Masters Korea, and we have just finished up Game 1 on Split. We can see that Vision Strikers is doing exactly what the rest of the teams out here have feared. They're continuing to dominate. Now, our story's not done yet. This is, of course, a best of 3, but TNL has a lot of work made out for them right now.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. I mean, they made it a little bit closer than we might have anticipated, just given how things were looking in that first half. They put 6 rounds on the board on a map where Vision Strikers is completely undefeated and they dominate on defense. I thought they had some actually pretty good attacking rounds, but that being said, 13-6 is still very much a one-sided affair. Now we get ready to go to Haven. Historically, you know, going back to First Strike, Haven was like the map for Vision Strikers that nobody wanted to play them on. Icebox then started coming into the mix. Vision Strikers was one of the only teams and still are one of the only teams that are willing to play that. TNL is the other team that we have here in Korea that is very much willing to play Icebox, but not versus Vision Strikers. It's a whole other animal. They say, you know what, we enjoy this, but we're nowhere near as good, so we don't want to play it. It's like if you have, you know, like if I like chess and you like chess, but I'm like very much a beginner and you're like near like a master's level, like I'm like, we could play chess together, but I know that I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to play chess online over here versus people at my rating, and you can
By the way,
play chess.
I haven't cast an Icebox yet.
You haven't?
It's been weeks and weeks, so I'm still waiting for that opportunity to actually get to commentate a game on that map.
I was joking about this just 2 days ago with Paper Thin because we had 2 Iceboxes. We had one. Yeah, we had two played.
I feel
TNL
like
picked
I'm
the
the
second
deciding factor on whether or not Icebox is picked or not. They're like, okay, which casters are going to be here? Tasteless? We're banning that map. So going into map 2 here, I don't know exactly what TNL needs to do to improve because I feel like Vision Strikers is better in so many ways here.
It's such a hard thing to try and dissect and say, like, this is what they specifically need to focus on, because I don't think that there is one specific thing.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, overall, it did seem like the team was very much out of sorts on split. It took a long time for Exy, of all people, to kind of get warmed up to start getting those kills. We saw Echo, you know, he had 8. It was like he was like 8 and 4, and then everybody else was like 2 and 5 or something like that. So the team really did not come online. Ritzy, not looking so good on Sage. I think moving over to Haven, where they're going to be going for a bit more standard of a comp and can have Ritzy go back to his Omen, have Echo on Sova. I think there's going to be a lot more comfort for TNL that will allow them to just kind of breathe a little more easily, feel the groove, and just try to get into the game a bit better. But even if they have that comfort level, they need to be hitting their shots. You know, they need to be reading the map a little bit better. They had some really good map reads. You know that Glow was going to not be faking the from the shadows from the A to the B side. They read that perfectly. They collapse on top of them. They get the, you know, the spike defuse and everything like that. They need more of that. They need to be predicting where Vision Strikers are going to be going, and potentially on attack, as they will be starting there. I'd like to see maybe some more fast-paced attacks from them, because that was showing the most success overall for TNLs, when they can execute on a site very quickly, but then they need to try to bunker down and actually hold off Vision Strikers, because their defenses on the retakes just haven't really been paying off.
So we're going on to the map, Haven, and now we're getting our agent selection. Ryzy locking in the Omen, the Sova here for Echo, Godlike taking Breach. We don't have anybody selected, well, not confirmed, I should say, just yet here for Vision Strikers, but it does look like TNL is leading back into a very standard Korean meta composition here. You know, we've got what looks to be the final pick here, Arrays. We're still waiting here on Vision Strikers.
Yeah, we very much are. I mean, if we look at their composition versus New Turn, just from 2 days ago, RB was on Raze, Glow on Omen. You know, nothing too shocking there. This is when Stax did bring out the Sky for the first time. He currently isn't hovering anything, so I wouldn't be shocked if we do see that come through. You know, as well, King on Killjoy. That's just, you know, you're not going to see him basically play anything else. Seems like those Stacks might be looking to go back for the Breach instead of the Sky.
Very cool. It seems like Vision Strikers may be sticking to what they know. Oh, hold on. We actually have to switch into Sky in the last second over here. Glow, I'm not imagining he's going to take anybody but the Omen. And we have the entire agent confirmation over here for TNL. Well, actually, I would say the majority of the makeup of these teams mirroring each other. Really, the difference here is with the Killjoy and the Sky being the big difference here, where it's more standard Jet pick here and a Breach picker. So TNL, you know, this is the kind of comp we saw all the time a couple weeks ago out here.
Yeah. just kind of, you know, they're just playing stock standard. They're not really messing with anything too new. We saw a lot of teams at the end of Challengers Week 3 going for the sky. Like Vision Strikers weren't the first ones that were showing that to us, but they opted in for it. But TNL is very much playing just bread and butter Valorant from what we've seen for the last few months.
You know, what I'm asking myself is, was this pre-planned or is this a reaction to the struggles that they already felt there on Split? And sometimes when you see pros really in a bad position, they'll go back to what they know. They'll go back to what works and try their best with that. Guys, game 2 on Heaven with these two teams has loaded up. Let's do this. This is Vision Strikers versus TNL Esports.
Alrighty, in on to Haven. You can see Vision Strikers, their win rate on this map, not going to be great. This is going to be one of the lowest ones that you will see for Vision Strikers anywhere. And, you know, they have been struggling on it as of late.
So this does have 3 spikes plant sites if you're not familiar with Valorant. So B is not normally taken that often. It's usually an A or B plant. They are very far apart. A and C are very far apart from each other here. So it can be a little bit tricky for the defending side. In this case, you see the Killjoy and the Sova. Heavy concentration here in the garage, as a lot of times that's a burst point here for the in a pistol round, the attacking side to push through.
Well, given the heavy stack over towards C and garage, start having stacks rotate out of A. He's kind of cheating in between right now, Heaven and that link, so they can get to B very quickly.
Notice the blind spot that was created with the small push up into B and then the quiet rotation around. You can see now that Vision Strikers is having to try to rotate here and check into B just in case somebody's coming around, but this is actually going to be a steady long push. Excuse me, a long push with really nobody actually defending A site, at least for now.
Okay, well, they'll get rid of that fault line as well as the dark covers and the paranoia is flying through, so that will be the call for rotation for Vision Strikers. Spike just going to get planted, default here behind the mid boxes.
This is a very clean A side entry here. They're going to get the spike, they'll get the defensive positions in the pistol round that they want. It's going to be up to Vision Strikers to infiltrate and try to reclaim this.
TNL, can they hold it off? And now it's going down. Flashes come out. They'll drop down looking for hell. Frenzy line up there. King's going to be the one to find the kill. Pull back away from the fault line. King finds 2 just off screen. RB tapping the bomb. Finally do get rid of King, but RB's just going to go straight back over to this one. 8 HP remaining. XE creeping through. RB's all on his lonesome. Gets it to half, but Echo comes out on top with 4 kills. Huge round from him and a great defense here on the site for TNL. I mean, got in basically for free, but this time they do manage to pull off that defense, which is excellently done. Be curious to see if we have a replay to go ahead and get a look at Echo's POV where he was just able to rack them up.
I do want to point out TNL unable to hold back the smiles there. That is a very exciting moment. You know, obviously you need 13 wins. Unless we're going into overtime and it gets crazy. But you need 13 wins to actually take the round. But to have a good start like this, after the previous map was so difficult, and really, even though they did get a couple wins here and there, they were basically dunked on. Exciting moment here for TNL. Let's see if they can clutch what is on paper supposed to be an easier second round.
Boombot just going forward. King's going to be playing up into B. RB aggressing out of short, does get punished. TS just holding that angle. XE now trying to clear this B site. A couple shots in on the King, knocks him down to 61 HP. And Stacks joins in as well. Pushing forward, but they're not able to really get any connections through that window.
It seems they've once again created a rift over here at A. It's just a Sky here to defend. So again, easy entry over here. The Breach should be able to plant behind the crates. And smoking up in Heaven here, the Sky's going to have a difficult time trying to get any sights and shots off here in what is a 5 versus 3.
Godlike spotting 1. Will get clipped actually from this flank. Wasn't really ready for that one. Stacks finds a headshot. King follows up as well. And oh, do we just actually see this thrifty victory coming through for Vision Strikers? Ritzy still quite healthy, still with the Spectre in hand. Sprays through 1. Glow takes him down. Dark cover now thrown out. It's here on short. Dark comes in, spots him.
Diffuse halfway done. That's going to give him a lot more room here. These shots not quite connecting until they finally do. Echo getting the kill with the Ghost onto Glow. And again, we expect a win like this. It's the rifle round, round number 3. We're really looking forward to see how exactly TNL is going to handle this. I mean, when you have a team with good angles here, controlling these especially wide angles with rifles, whether that's the Phantom or the Vandal, it is stronger than the weapons that the winning team TNL garnered in that round number 2.
Yeah. Well, now rifles coming in. Vision Strikers to see if they'll be able to go ahead and pick up this 3rd round win. It's very nicely done from Echo. Glow, kind of surprised. He had plenty of time on the spike. Defuse, got it to halfway. I thought maybe he was going to pull off. You know, anticipating that push to come through from Echo, but just tried to stick it out.
This is a pretty big C rotation. You can see a very forward position here from TNL, actually into the attacking side mid here. But now, C site, once again, easy entry. They're going to get the spike plant. They're going to get the setup. TNL is going to be trying to stop several angles of attack here, as Vision Strikers is going to be coming from C long as well as their side.
Crucially, Echo, if he can hold this down, would be huge. Going to see both Owls kind of passing in the night. Looking for, yep, there we go. Spots Glow, gets the dart through.
Yeah, you can't wall bang through there.
Yeah,
so
he's going to hold both of them at bay now.
All right, he's going to be a little bit more forward here after getting the paranoia that connected with him here. Godlike gets the kill immediately on King. Stacks takes out Godlike as well as Echo.
It's all on Ritzy now.
Not impossible here.
Oh. Well, they get the spot on him. Stacks continuing to push, and with Zest on the angle, you know,
yeah,
they force that, you know, is it going to be left or right? Which one do you want to pick? And they make sure that he's looking the wrong way. The defuse is there. Vision Strikers do get that 3rd round.
Yeah, getting that defuse there with a minute and 66 seconds remaining. Again, we got to point out, sorry, a second and 66%. Imagine if it was a minute and 66 seconds. That would be not hype at all.
That would be really bad for the, you know, if you're trying to defend your
this
spike
is the
plant.
game where actually it takes as long as it does to actually defuse a bomb in real life. Well, it's like, okay, well, they're all dead, but we're going to have to wait maybe an hour for this bomb to be defused.
Just call somebody up, they've got the manual, and they're explaining like which wire to cut.
So getting that win there, big takeaway for Vision Strikers. And I like what you were pointing out back there, Kilios. In that hallway, the left or the right, you don't know which side they're going to come out of, and it's a long enough hallway you can't back out easily. So a good play there by Vision Strikers, but round 4 going to be even more significant.
That it is. I mean, this is Vision Strikers' opportunity to really offset the economic balance. RB situated up on top of the box here. The drone's going to be going forward, but it will not be able to see him. He has pulled off that position, though, and relocated over towards long. And now, with Zest starting to inch out of garage, he's going to be able to give a lot of information to the rest of the team and basically confirm that this is going to be an A-site hit. Because right now, they can only be in, you know, basically one of 2 places. And that's either going to be everybody stacked up over at C long or over at A lobby.
I'm especially interested in seeing if and when Zest is going to push here, because this is definitely intended to be going towards A, but the Silva coming in from behind could get some very good angles, and this is a pretty heavy A stack. So if TNL could pull this off, I'll be quite impressed.
Fault line goes through, blinds coming out. Stacks does get blind for a moment, but as soon as that fades, manages to find 1, now finds 2, tries to line up a 3rd, but cannot do so. Ritzy will cut him down. 2v3 as a spike gets planted. Zest makes his way up here through short, finds 1. Evening up the odds. Recon not going to be able to find anything, and Glow falls down to 10 HP. It's a great headshot, however, as the shock dart gets lobbed up over the top. Doesn't get the damage to hit, though, as Ritzy will still be in this. Cannot flick to the side fast enough, though, was anticipating Glow from the left. He comes from the right. Kills him off, and we are tied up 2-2.
Certainly a painful round there for TNL. It really came down to the Omen duel. You know that one of them is going to have to shoot the other one first. There's no way around it, and, you know, Glow being so good at the millisecond of reacting, getting the kill, and then getting that very easy defuse, tying this up, and what seemed to be a pretty bright future here for TNL is really starting to become a painful reality as Vision Strikers, as they're getting into the rifle phase of the game, more comfortable, even when they're outnumbered, able to reclaim areas with ease.
And now this just, you know, comes down to how much is Vision Strikers going to be able to run away with it from here. It's going to be a Sheriff defense for the most part here. TS is going to pop that Blade Storm off the bat. Dodges out, does not get clipped by the Hawk's blind. How much damage can he deal? There's a lot of potential here, given these guns, given the Blade Storm. Chucks out one.
Yeah, kind of a weird moment. Going to have to make sure those knives get the kills or that ulti will just burn out.
Not only that, but you know, you do have Sky. Stax is just going to be able to heal up his teammates, so RB is already going to be top back up to 100.
Right, and keep in mind, before we get into the actual action here, notice how Killjoy's been rotated really effectively from site to site to site. Unlike a lot of the other Korean teams here, we just see this used over and over again. By the way, TS, great headshot there on RB with the knife reset.
And now has that full arsenal ready to go. Everybody from TNL has crept up. Stax catches XE a little bit off guard, though. Now it's going to be Seekers moving forward. Dash down, right-click in. TS does manage to find the kill, picks up the Vandal. King, however, holding things down from Hell. Gets the spike dropped on the ground, finds TS up over top of the box. Can he get the last one here for the quadra kill? Answer's going to be no, because Zest is ready on the flank. There's the shutdown. TNL, you know, it was a decent little try. TS with a nice headshot, follows up for the second kill. Down into short, but Vision Strikers now take the lead.
Yeah, and this is one of the moments where you really see how scary Vision Strikers is. Each of their players independently is just so able to do anything in any given situation. I mean, you know, in any normal situation, King, okay, hold that site as long as you can. In this case, look, boom, kill, kill. It doesn't matter what the angle is, even the jet coming over the box, which is supposed to be an unexpected moment where maybe your crosshair can't meet the skull of the opponent in time. No problems there at all.
Yeah, perfectly ready for it. As RB, is he ready for this? Yes, he is.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. They just, besides the strategies, the tactics, the positioning, the way they're able to utilize the economies on both teams in any given situation, they are just better at reacting coming around corners.
They get the read, just is wary. That's the biggest thing, is that he's just wary that there could be somebody hanging out on that right side. He manages to just flick over. That quick kill.
We've got a very conservative TNL this time around. It looks like they want to come in through C, but they really don't have an idea of what's going on out there.
Oh, shock dart. If he had just bounced that down into actual alleyway, would have hurt, but they're not ready for glow up on top of the box. With the crossfire coming through, Zest does manage to find two in the back end, and suddenly it is Echo on his lonesome, spike in hand, slowly and sadly waddling his way back over towards the spawn.
And this is also thematic of what we've had on Haven a lot from the attacking side. It does seem like A is the most plantable of the sites. C, it really depends on if you can get in and actually get the setup, and then it can be a tough fight to try to reclaim. And now, really, I mean, Echo, I don't even know if you can have a plan here other than try to roam and get a kill. But with only about 10 seconds on the clock, pretty much nothing is possible as far as a win. I think a spike plant is, hey, get the points, get the micro victory, if you will.
Yeah.
And then try to use the extra resources to pull back in the next round.
That's basically all you can hope for. I mean, it's either that or you just have to, basically go God mode and somehow get that 1v4 clutch. But unfortunately for him, not going to happen. Does get the extra credits as you were talking about, so it's a minor gain is what they get, but it's nowhere near what they could have gotten. It's like getting a Bitcoin when it's at like 50K, when you could have gotten in when it's at 20. Like they get a little bit of a percentage gain, but a little bit.
Yeah, it's something, and again, that does develop into the big picture of how a round or a map, I should say, is won or lost. But yeah, I mean, again, Vision Strikers, this is their fourth win in a row. They're getting further and further and further ahead now. And again, I think that we're starting to see TNL kind of run into a wall here.
Yeah.
Particularly with that denial at the C site in the last round.
That's the kind of pick that you just cannot afford to have happen. I mean, two-member push out of B, no eyes on it. Great cover on the window as well.
The confidence out there to push out into B, chase them out of mid, and then pull back away immediately.
It's just, yeah. I mean, they fish so well for information, Vision Strikers. I made the comparison the other day to Paper Thin. It's kind of like playing an RTS and you're pushing through the fog of war. And then they permanently reveal that side of the map, and they have that information. They're like, okay, that camp is over there. This is where this guy's building.
Yeah, and then to pull away again, saying that they're going to give up that position. It looks like they basically chased them down into an A site push. But there's a very forward defensive spot over here for Vision Strikers. They're going to now back out of A. Now, that's their right. I mean, it is the attacker side to plant the spike wherever or get the team kill before the timer runs out. But they're going to come here with a quick attack in through Garage, up into C. There's an Omen, a Sova ready for the fight. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so they're going to be looking to take the C site and then try to have the Sova potentially at long to defend with a Hunter's Fury. They do manage to find 2. Zest and King do fall. Glow, however, still in the back site, finds 4. And there's the shutdown on the attempted take of C. Vision Strikers unrelenting. And everybody is just destroying right now on the side of Vision Strikers. There's nobody who's like fragging poorly. Everybody is landing their shots, it seems.
Glow is an absolute monster over here at C, by the way. I mean, just able to completely dismantle the entire team. His positional setups are very good. You can see that even after C site looks like it's beginning to get claimed here by TNL, here comes the surprise. He's popping out of these corners like this, getting those kills. 3 to put the 5th win here for Vision Strikers on the board as we enter round 8.
Such great use of the front of the shadows and just catches them off guard. Oh, RB down here at short does manage to find 1. Oh man! Follows up with just a pixel shot on Echo's head.
Yeah, just completely tapping him out.
Those are the kind of shots that, like, when I'm playing personally, I always manage to mess them up. You see just that small little amount. But
I mean, the precision is just incredible. All right, so now we have, the Omen over here at C. And is also shot down. This appears to be not a round that's going to be much of a fight over a spike site, but instead it's like a horror film where each of the members of the TNL team is slowly picked off one by one, disappearing, till we eventually have an unhappy ending for them here. Sometimes in these matches, it is a back and forth. It is exciting, and one of the things about casting a Vision Strikers game is it is like watching a lion eat a gazelle. Over time, it's
nature's beautiful.
Yeah, this is like the nature channel where it's like, oh, is that gazelle gonna get away? And then it's like, nah, that gazelle's gonna get eaten.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we do start to get a closer game here, but right now, Vision Strikers just doesn't look like they can be touched.
Well, spike will get planted here, B yet again.
Now, B is always a funny site to try to hold because there's so many angles that they can come in from.
So XE uses his showstopper. RB has his available. Everybody from Vision Strikers says, hey, you know what? We have time. They wait out the rocket. Aldrone's going to be coming up through C. So they pull back to get out of line of sight. Don't want to get tagged up by that. Glow. No paranoia available, but there you have it. It's already done.
Yeah, they were patient enough to basically wait, circling around the B site like sharks, and at the right moment when they basically identified where the team is, coming at enough different angles that it's pretty much impossible to do. So again, a little victory in the sense that they get the spike plant here for TNL. They get a little bit of a boost in resources going into the next round, but ultimately it is a major victory for Vision Strikers, taking the 6th win as we're getting further and further along here in the first half. Again, I think really this round was won before the spike was even planted, as we had 3 of the TNL players picked off immediately, giving them really no feasible options on having a spike site plant and then hold.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 rounds straight for Vision Strikers. The spike plants coming in, the full loss bonus for the side of TNL, like all of these things are helping them constantly have, additional rifles in their hands round over round. But they need to get these wins on the board. Vision Strikers, granted, they did opt to go for defense first here on this map. That's where they're going to be feeling the most confident, so they want that for the first half, and then they want to try to close out as few rounds as possible when they go on the attack. That does led itself to saying that TNL likely will have a much stronger defense, and that currently the way that things look, it's not going to be as lopsided when they do shift sides. But that's me just kind of hoping and, praying a little bit for TNL's sake that they will be able to make this a bit closer when they flip over, if not take the map in the end.
This time around, we have TNL hanging back here. Again, Glow, by the way, on the C side, rotated over here into the cubby.
Yeah. He
is randomizing his position on C side. By the way, if you're a beginner at VALORANT, that's an important thing that you want to watch for, is how these pros are able to rotate so that they are in an unpredictable position each time around here, so they really don't know what angles to peek.
Ooh. Well, Stacks finds 1 on the entry, so already giving them the man advantage as they look to retake. XE, however, will go ahead and equalize that.
So this is a plant on B to the corner side towards A here. And we don't normally see a plant setup like this, so this is kind of novel here from TNL. I don't know how well it's going to work, but right now it's not going bad. It's a 4 versus 3. Zest badly injured. This could absolutely be a round that could make this a 6-3 with a victory for TNL.
It definitely could be. I mean, they have a 100 Sphere. They have a Showstopper to maybe try to break things open as Zest creeps his way into the back side, but he's just so very low that Ritzy will finish him off. Now the 100 Sphere comes in. RB trying to lunge his way into the back with the blast packs to get that rocket out. Will not manage to do so. Glow finding one, just trying to make this as costly as possible, but that's as good as it's going to get. And finally, TNL have stopped the bleeding. They get a 3rd round on the board after 6 consecutive wins for Vision Strikers. So they bounce back. There's only 3 more to go in the half.
I got to point out that type of spike plant is not one we normally see. We've seen a lot of plants at B towards the window.
Yeah.
Or plants at B where they're doing a tight rotation. Usually you can't do this if Raze has her ulti, by the way. But this was one where they planted and then hung out in the hallway that connects A and B here.
RB, we saw this from just 2 days ago. He's going to blast pack down into short. Kind of botched it a little bit.
Yeah, bumped his head, I think.
Yeah,
on the ceiling, so you didn't quite get the forward position you want. But yeah, if you come down there fast enough, you can get the surprise op pick.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to pick up an ace this time around. And Glow, again, changing his position, goes for that lurk. King tries to do the same thing, but Xe this time is backed up. He takes a considerable amount of damage, but you know, just to knock somebody down to 18 HP at the cost of 2 of your members, obviously not a very viable trade. TNL still sizing up their options, and if they decide to go to long A, that's when things could get a little bit shaky for them because RB is playing forward. The drone's going to come out. He's back on the corner, and now they fully identify, okay, RB is there, there's an operator. Do they still want to go towards the A site? So far, the answer is looking like yes, because they say, you know what, we have numbers, we can overwhelm this.
Yeah, now Raze may end up getting kind of a pick halfway through here. You know, you don't normally expect after half the team's gotten through that the Opper of all people is going to be coming around the corner. Oh my God!
RB swaps to the classic against the headshot! Oh, that's a heartbreaker for TS.
I mean, the tactic was there, right? Get up to where the Opera is and take him out, but with one shot from the classic, gets the kill. Now it's a 2 versus 2, which could really go either way.
Yeah, Seekers were sent out by Stacks. They're going to be broken down. No more Hawks for the blinds, but maybe he doesn't even need them. Godlike coming around the corner, gets his head taken off, and now they have the 2v1. Zest tapping the bomb, sees the Paranoia fly, cuts back behind the box. Stacks is there for the flank peek. They clean him up, and Vision Strikers right back into the driver's seat.
Every player really fulfilling their role there for Vision Strikers. I mean, they really know how to handle every given situation. And the fact that we had the headshot with the Classic after the Opper had basically been cornered. And again, on paper, you look at that. If you can get there with any automatic weapon face-to-face against an Opper where they're very unlikely to get the one bullet off from the Op, let alone the pistol to kill you.
Especially when he whiffed the shot. He tries to go for, the no-scope or the quick-scope in at point-blank range, whiffs that, but then still manages to swap to Classic and then right-click his head before he can take him out with a Vandal. It's so just ridiculous from RB to be able to make that happen.
I mean, talk about superhuman reflexes there. And so now, a bit of a head-scratcher here for TNL as we go into the 11th round. Only 2 more rounds, this one included, for the first half here where they've gotten a lot of nopes every time they try to come in here and get a victory. And especially when things start to get this lopsided, some questionable plays can start to come in. It looks like they're going to lean into B. We've had this a lot in Korea where less and less success leads to more and more A site pushes.
Cover coming down, allowing them to cross over into short. The boom bot will clear that angle, then he's going to blast pack his way up top. Try to get some off guard from this angle.
Okay, here we go. They're about to come around the corner here. That's both Stacks as well as RB here at 2 different angles here to try to make this nearly impossible for a team to come in and take the fight they want.
Nade's still looking pretty good, though. He's going to get 3 with it. Are you joking? They couldn't run away fast enough. They break down the defenses at A, but RB from the grave, giving me martyrdom vibes from, Modern Warfare, takes them out. They all fall down, and it's just Echo left alive. The Paranoia comes crashing in. Glow will not be able to get him on the drop shot, but King is there on the repeat. Unreal nade.
I mean, again, you gotta look at the angles that you're coming out at and whose ulti is gonna be there. By the way, RB is pretty much always over there at the A side, so you got a question pushing into A short. I know they've really been stretched as far as options, but you know, coming into that, absolutely you can end up getting nuked in that spot, and that's what happened. It's 8-3. It's one more round here in the first half. As things are really beginning to mirror Game 1, where Vision Strikers was pretty much unstoppable.
He's going for this peek again. He's got the operator. He's going to blast pack down.
See if he does it right this time.
Cloudburst comes out. Knives are drawn. Sees one. Can't go for the flick fast enough, so doesn't nail the shot.
Yeah, Jet fires back, also whiffs it. And now there's going to be a rotation over here to A long as they basically chase them away from A short.
And now RB can just sit here, hold down A lobby basically by himself. And that's why he'll just chill. Stacks rotates over towards B. Acknowledge that they can get to A fast enough through the link if the call comes in.
We do want to point out, thematically, they've actually had a decent amount of success at B, so I think this is a good way to try to at least close this out, do what worked already.
Dash forward just to get onto the corner. Start the plant. Blind comes in. Hunter's Fury does manage to find TS.
Yeah, but we'll also nuke TS, their Jet, in the process.
Oh.
Making this, you know, one player less. B is a much more reclaimable spike site than the rest.
Oh, but they did not get that plant off in time.
Oh, they did not. I'm sorry. Excellent.
He died just a moment before. Now Zest on the flank finds Ritzy. Exy dead off screen. Two playing up through the front at main, but there is the lockdown. They might not even really need that to go off. They know exactly where Godlike is at. Stack's just playing the corner. Not quite prepared for it, but the rest of the team are. 9-3 on the half. Unbelievable.
Vision Strikers looking immaculate in these games. They have the coordination. They're winning all of these little fights here and there. We have games where they just reclaim the spike site, games where they shut down a push, and then games where individually fight after fight after fight, a round is won as kill after kill after kill comes in here. And look, I don't know what TNL can do to really improve. Vision Strikers can be extremely strong on the attacking side. I think they're also a team that is continuing to improve and innovate here in VALORANT with each week passing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, having our trash talk video at the beginning of, day one here for Masters, they said, you know what, we've got some new strategies. We're going to be showing you some new stuff. And they showed it to us, and they continue to run it with success. The raise here for RB is looking clean. The Sky from Stacks, just being able to safely throw out these flashes from, deep onto a site, get a flash down through short, down across a long, so that RB can safely push out with the operator. It's just wonderful to see the set plays that Vision Strikers have, and it just teams seemingly right now are not yet prepared for this level of mechanical ability.
Yeah, TNL, I like a lot of the plays around B back there, and I think they had some moments where they could have pulled through. I mean, there were moments where it did come down to a 1 versus 1, but again, Vision Strikers just able to clutch that. Each of their players is so good at these one-on-one duels. And now it's going to be Vision Strikers trying to plant the spike at the A, B, or C site, and TNL trying to deny or defuse it. But how exactly are these first few rounds going to go? Momentum could be on the victor of the first pistol round here, as we're seeing an immediate push here from Vision Strikers scrambling to get into C.
Well, Paranoia will buy a little bit more time, but they do make their way onto C, and everybody from TNL just scrambling away from it.
Yeah.
Say, okay, you know what? Let's not try to fight them on the site. Let's try to go for the retake.
Yeah, it looks like they're all going to be coming through this hall here. Perhaps the Sova will try to come through the connector.
Maybe there's going to be some more huge nade value. Does not happen. Flash going to expire. Glow trying to out-duel Exy. Cannot do so. Does fall as RB desperately tries to get himself here into the cubby.
This is a plant here for C long, so the idea is not that they try to hold the site, but instead try to fire shots in there. They try to use their utility to delay the defuse, and it may actually not work here. We got to see if they can get the stun here.
They're on it. Yeah, this is going to be the cleanup. So they do manage to take them out with 3 members left standing. A good start for TNL, much like we saw from them on split. They get the pistol round here in the second half. But it's, again, how far can they roll with that?
Yeah, this is, you may be completely 100% spot on here, where they win the first 2 pistol rounds, but as rifles or ops or full utility, is at the disposal here from Vision Strikers. That's really where they can bend the game to their will.
Yeah. So we'll be,
So we're just
you know, maybe a thrifty win if Vision Strikers could pull it off. I think given just the quality of the guns, we're likely just going to be seeing maybe some faster pace play. That being said, the spike is dropped down. Usually they'll try to, it almost seems like they just want to get it over with. Sometimes they'll just rush on the second round if they lose the pistol. But they are going to be playing this one a little bit slower as they creep the spike over towards the C side of the map.
Sometimes from teams we see something kind of experimental when they're down in the second round of a half here. As you know, it's a lot of times more difficult to take a straightforward fight. And so this is going to be, it looks like a quiet push towards Garage, maybe.
Keeping it a little bit ambiguous right now, but maybe they're going to be thinking, oh, you know what? B site worked out pretty well for TNL. Maybe we do that.
So they're waiting. Nobody here from TNL is peeking, by the way. They're basically just hanging back. Dark cover is going to block off B, at least vision-wise, for a little bit. And we're going to go for it. What looks to be a B plant here. The dark cover kind of a half-half blinding here.
OTS going aggro.
God.
Dashes up and over top of them, and that's just going to be the cleanup. They all get mowed down. Zest is the only one left alive.
One of the coolest jet peeks ever to go into the dark cover and take full advantage of the high ceiling there to pop out and create full ambiguity about what angle the jet's going to be, as well as the rest of the team. Now,
I'm curious how much of that was him getting caught off guard and kind of like panic updrafting out of there.
And how much of that is I meant to do this?
Yeah, I'm sure he would say like, oh yeah, that was the plan the entire time.
Oh, did you like that, casters?
Yeah.
That was for you and the fans.
I'm kind of almost certain that for a little bit of it that he was not anticipating that many people to be right there in the dark cover. But it was a good play all the same. He does manage to pick up 2 with the Spectre, but now again, rifles in the hands of Vision Strikers. This is where it really comes down to TNL being able to close this out. They can win this round. It's suddenly way more possible for them to go ahead and tie us up 9-9 and potentially take this.
And this is the round that Vision Strikers is really banking on to carry the momentum to the finish line, getting the 13th win. But it has to start somewhere, and this is the rifle round here for Vision Strikers, where they do have the firepower and the utility to possibly outmatch TNL.
He just chilling. Again, not really, you know, showing himself, knows that there's going to be guns in hands over on the side of Vision Strikers, knows that there's likely to be something like a Vandal, but doesn't want to get his head taken off. Trailblazer will come out from stacks, just looking forward, doesn't see anything over at the C site, so they say, okay, dark cover goes on the back. They'll all rush through garage, and because that dark cover is still in the window, XE can't really cut anybody off.
Yeah, it was a great play there, completely muting the ability for XE to do much. And so now they're here, the spike is planted, and it's going to be up to TNL to try to reclaim, to try to get some position. And again, it's going to be the C-long plant here, where they're going to be hanging back. They're not going to be trying to fight over the entry points of C, but instead trying to force a defuse to be basically impossible here by interfering via shots or utility.
Pink finding one, tries to get that nanoswarm chucked out, doesn't manage to do so, and Echo does manage to clean up 2. 3 members left standing, however. Now 2, as I say that, RB does fall. Onto the spike. Stack's trying to go for the flank. Hunter's Fury to try and delay, but they're still on it. They stick it.
Yeah.
They get the clean up. He will kill Echo off in the end. Tries to reload as they do hunt forward for him, but he'll stay alive.
And we're seeing this play here from Vision Strikers that is repeatedly not working now, where they plant the spike. It's very clear from the first-person perspectives we're getting what they're trying to do. They're trying to hiccup the defuse, and they're failing at it. They don't have to give up C site. They could try to hold it. They could try to close the angles off and block them out of having access, or at least enough time to ever get close to the spike. Instead, they're trying to do something, and it's not working. Oh my God, TS with an instant kill on Glow. As I think momentum is really starting to build here for TNL.
It is, and this is exactly what they needed, and that's why, before I was mentioning that Vision Strikers opted to go for the defense first. They know that that is going to be the strongest side of the map, just for them and in general. And now with very little in hand, they'll just push forward and just kind of get this round over with.
Yeah, this is a save round. I mean, right now it's like, Vision Strikers is running around with super soakers here. This is not going to be one they win, and if they did, that's amazing. But we're going to see this Killjoy eventually die off, and I think the question for Vision Strikers is going to be, obviously, where do they want to plant? But if it is C, are they going to try to do that protracted angle? Or are they going to maybe give up on C entirely, go more for B or for A? Because really, you know, B is a rarity in any Valorant game. It's not like we ever have a game where there's half B site plants, right?
Yeah. Well, King, Ritzy's the only one that he's able to get with that Phantom in hand, so will just be the cleanup there. And TNL are very much within touching distance now, 7-9.
Yeah, almost tickling distance, Kilios. We get to that 8-9 here. And so, let's watch carefully to see where Vision Strikers commits to. You know, we can watch them and how they poke around here, but really, it's going to be where they try to lock in on and force a fight in a spike plant that we want to see here. Now, look at the double stack over on C.
Still have this operator, and I don't think that Glow is going to go for the same thing twice now. He is not.
Yeah, it looks like he does a fake Shroud Step sound away there, maybe making them think that he's holding that other angle there at C. And instead, it's going to be a collection of Vision Strike players over here directly in the lower center, not far from attacker spawn, as they're going to be fishing for information, for ideas, for position. But it's a very forward hold right now for TNL. A site's vulnerable, so they're going to end up pushing here through spawn, but the Sova and the Omen can try to come in here and get some kind of confirmation as to what's going on.
And Trailblazer does get the hit here onto Echo. Sets him up for a little bit as the TP from Ritzy puts himself on top of the box. They're not going for the crossfire setup though. Blind does come through, Paranoia clips him. As RB jumps up, manages to find him in the corner, takes him down, pushes the other. As Echo does fall. Echo takes one down with him, so does manage to find Zest. Spike now going to be planted, and it's going to be a man advantage here for Vision Strikers.
Yeah, only 3 players remaining here for TNL. They're going to try to come in here. We've got the turret set up above the box. Everybody hanging out.
This flank from Exy, though, could be huge. Manages to find one. There's Glow gone, but he pulls at the boom bot. The timing just so very poor as RB will just spray through the rest of them. Vision Strikers, they stop the bleeding. They could put another round on the board. Now just 3 away from a 2-0 victory.
And this should be a careful series of steps here from Vision Strikers. They got the win, but they are realizing that TNL on the defense is something they're going to have to respect. It's quite different from the map split that we saw earlier, where frankly, they were getting bullied throughout the entire map.
Yeah.
This time around here, it does seem like TNL has much better map awareness, much better discipline when the spike is planted for reclaiming and defusing it. So a great play here from Vision Strikers. We tend to see the A site in Korea have a little bit more success with plants and overall victories for the attackers. Maybe they commit further to there, or they can mix it up and try something alternative at C again.
Not sure how much Glow got to see, if he's going to be prepared for Exy to be in the cubby, but he's trying to bait this, so
yeah,
he's forcing him to look over there now.
Yeah, he's doing a fake Shroud Step to try to cause a distraction and cause the crosshairs to be pointed towards the very edge of C long. But there's a big stack over here outside a garage.
So Glow's just going to have to try to wait till they draw enough attention back over towards the main site, then push out, try to catch Exy rotating back over, or perhaps out of long. That would be my assumption, but instead, Exy actually played it patiently and does manage to find him as Glow is pushing past. Showstopper chucked out, takes him down to half, but here's the returning Showstopper, and Exy comes out on top, follows up for a 3rd kill, the headshot there on a Stacks. Zest finds one, but
insane play there. As now it is just Zest remaining in this game. TNL, again, great play overall here. I'm not sure what the plans for Zest are going to be, but it's hard to imagine that this could ever be a win with the way this has gone so far. And so this should be the 8th win on the board here for TNL, nipping at the heels of Vision Strikers.
He's doing a good job. It looks like, oh, okay. Well, we'll push out as Exy will get 4 kills in the round. He did chuck the operator a little bit further away, so they do not recover that for TS. Let's see if he has enough capital in the bank right now to go ahead and afford another one, or if he even wants to opt in for it. He does, as it turns out. But yeah,
so this was a great Raze versus Raze duel.
Really bizarre. I didn't, you know, obviously we weren't looking at close perspective. Was kind of just watching that on the mini-map as the push onto the side happened. But it looked like Glow just walked straight past the cubby without even checking it. Which is just disrespect, honestly, from him being shot. Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh, these Raze versus Raze fights are hilarious here. It looks like Exy's going to get away there with the kill on RB headshot. Meanwhile, King getting the kill on Godlike with the Sheriff.
Does find one.
I'll tell you what, every time Vision Strikers goes to C, it's usually trouble for them, but they're going to come here again with what looks to be a C-long plant once more. Are they going to try to hold it this time, or are they going to go back into C-long? It looks like this time they're going to go for a much more straightforward defense.
Don't have that Hunter's Fury to try to rely on. They could just try to delay a little bit, then throw down this lockdown, which would at least force Hunter's Fury from Echo. See if they feel the need to try to do that. Glow for now just going to be sitting here. Yeah, lockdown will come out. There's Exy gone. Shock Dart finds Zest. Hunter's Fury will get rid of the lockdown here at the end, but with the forward hold here from the rest of the Vision Strikers, this should be an easy cleanup. It's just Echo by himself. Stax gets the final blow. 11-8. Vision Strikers just barely ahead of TNL, but TNL cannot afford to give up any more rounds.
No, the noose is definitely tightening here for TNL, and I'm glad to see the Vision Strikers really able to reorganize and reorient there on the C site, getting the spike plant and getting it to actually detonate while killing off the entire team. They were struggling. It's one of the few times we've really seen Vision Strikers repeatedly struggle on a specific spike site a couple times over there, where usually it doesn't really seem like there are any weaknesses overall in their play, but they did get that, and now with 11 wins on the board for Vision Strikers, TNL really can't make any more mistakes from here on out.
Yeah, they have to win this. Vision Strikers would at least guarantee themselves overtime, which is a very dangerous prospect to have. King, maybe he was just going to fully bum rush out of the smoke. Doesn't decide to do that. It's Godlike playing it down below just with the frenzy in hand. I mean, that shows you how rough a position TNL are in right now.
They're very poor. They haven't been able to buy good guns, so they should lose this round and probably have to pull it into overtime. But yeah, this is not going to be very easy in any way to imagine it. And so we have a very patient Vision Strikers. Appears to be just fishing around A here. And they're actually going to back up. They don't see anybody overextending. They could end up catching this Raze here, but got to be careful. You know, 1 or 2 good shots with a Sheriff, and you do end up beating somebody with heavy artillery.
I mean, who's going to catch who? Exy's starting to push as they all rotate over to C. They are watching their backs.
30초 남았습니다.
And now they'll start running as soon as they get out of audio distance. So they, could be creeping in mid. Exy can't afford to move out of this window right now because they could be anywhere. They're going to get the word of it now as the spike does begin to get planted. 3-men rotate around from the defender's spawn. And it's going to be the pullback yet again. The Hunter's Fury available here for Zest. So banking on being able to defend this from long yet again. Vision Strikers, can they pull it off this time with Glow on this deep lurk?
It's a great position for Glow to hold here because they're in such a hurry, especially from A site, to try to get over there and get the flank off. And it seems like as we're getting to the twilight of the second half here, they're trying to make the C-long plant work for them. And it looks like it's going to possibly be working quite nicely. Echo going for the... what? Okay.
They got it.
I was like... Am I in the Groundhog's Day cast where I have to recast the same diffuse over and over that they could have stopped until I've cast it perfectly. Okay, so they do get the kill. They do get the win. If you're just now joining us, we've had Vision Strikers plant there several times, smoke it, and then not manage to make the bullets connect with the target that is diffusing it. And so now TNL can only hope for overtime, and that's hard to imagine, 4 wins in a row like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rough. They do have a good buy coming in overall. Everybody's going to have max armor other than TES, who's got that operator. So, obviously, you don't want him in a position where he's taking any damage anyway. So if he is, something's gone horribly wrong. So he'll just be sitting back, holding down a lobby for now, which does allow for everybody else to just kind of loosely spread themselves between Garage and C. Spots the drone, wants to relocate down into short. Where that somebody could be pushing there, but he's not going to be able to see too much of anything.
For now, we're seeing a small push that we've seen actually several times before, where they park just outside of the door garage and then send a scout in here to try to figure out, okay, where roughly are they? Can we actually walk through here without being blindsided by a Bucky around the corner? And so they come in. Immediately, RB is picked up by Xe. King takes out Xe as well, though.
A bit of a bloodbath here, back and forth, the 2-for-2 over on the C side as the spike starts to get planted here by Stacks. 3v3, certainly a winnable situation. This plant does go off moments before the Rolling Thunder crashes through, but look at the cleanup. Now it's just King left alone. He's sitting in the cubby at the moment with the Phantom in hand. Here's the tap, the aftershock to clear the angle. Pushes out of the smoke. Doesn't know that he's getting these shots registered. They cannot follow up for any additional kills, so TNL holding on by a thread, do get a 9th round on the board.
Yeah, and again, it's the story of Vision Strikers consistently going for C, oftentimes getting the plant, but mostly failing after that.
Which is basically the story of TNL on Split.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they...
It is fascinating to watch the plant for long not work so many times, and frankly, the one time it did work, it almost did it. They were firing through the dark cover and nearly did not make that connect. And a lot of the other teams that we have here in Korea, when they do go for C, they try to actually hold it. They try to occupy C versus trying to fire into C after the spike plant.
Yeah, you know, you see it to varying success from time to time, but I admit, you're right. It is odd to see a team like Vision Strikers attempt something so many times with little return on it. And then to continue doing so, because they're a very measured team. They like to adapt to what their opponents are doing, but they're not really necessarily adapting with that specific strategy to to themselves and how it's how they've been able to execute on it. So eyes will be turned over towards A yet again. The drone, shown for a moment, will get destroyed. As this time they will be making their way through short. Hear this drone. Trailblazer going to be used. TS gets himself up on top of the box.
TS has got a great angle here to get a pick, but they're going to be coming here from A-long as well, and they basically push the jet back out of this position. RB coming in here, firing through the crate, getting a kill there on TS, and then another one on a Godlike.
Runs out of bullets, gets himself into hell, however, and King is there for the support, so Ritzy does fall. Hunter's Fury from Echo up top is trying to line it up. He is now all on his lonesome, and he needs to clutch this 1v5. RB getting topped back up by Stacks, and this is not looking winnable. Spamming through the wall, just trying to get the kill. He will reveal himself, and that will be it. A flawless round yet again to close out the map, to close out this series. A 2-0 for Vision Strikers, and they punch their ticket now into the semifinals.
Yeah, they are looking amazing. It's interesting to see that play on C over and over and the different approaches, the successes and the failures. All of it, really. But Vision Strikers, once again, reaffirming that they are the strongest looking team here in Korea, and I don't know who's going to be able to stop them. I think TNL did a great job, but they seem to only be able to exploit the one weakness, which was a weak attacker's side plant on C. Everything else in the picture really was favored for Vision Strikers.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, it's unfortunate for TNL. I know how hungry they are to actually beat their former sister team, but unfortunately not today, and maybe not for a very long time until they can continue to improve. With some off performances overall, I want to say, from the likes of Xe. He didn't really, he wasn't really able to rack up too much. 16 and 18 here on this last map, so comes in with a negative KD. Echo's the only one who manages to go positive, and while Echo in the past for the squad has been very consistent on that Sova, he didn't look great on the Sage on map 1. He was not, it just was poor overall. Sorry, on the Omen, I should say.
Right,
map number 1. It was Ritzy who was playing the Sage, but neither of them looked too great. Vision Strikers do come out on top in just about every metric here in their victory on Haven, and TNL, I think they just need some more time. They need to improve, and they also need to make sure that they're properly warmed up and they're in the right headspace to go against Vision Strikers, because it just kind of seemed like they were operating at maybe like 80% here.
I couldn't agree more. And look, I mean, TNL, they're not eliminated, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, there's still hope for them.
Nobody's actually eliminated yet. There are losers in this tournament, though, eventually, as the next days come up here. But yeah, TNL, at least they got this part out of the way. They faced Vision Strikers. They did hold their own, especially on that second map. Now, I think they got to go on their merry way and try to fight out the other teams in Korea, and maybe they'll encounter Vision Strikers again, maybe not.
Yeah, rough tidings, and it's just so particularly hard for TNL, having not been able to really take any maps off of Vision Strikers in the past to even just map draft against them, because you feel comfortable on Icebox, you can't beat Vision Strikers on Icebox. You feel comfortable on Haven, you can't beat them there either. They haven't played against each other on Ascent. Vision Strikers is always going to ban bind, so there's just such limited options available to you. So unless you can really grind hard on the map and get it to such a point where you feel like you're undefeatable there, then you're just not going to be able to beat Vision Strikers.
And moments back there where Vision Strikers is not going for Jet is interesting. It's cool to see, the teams mixing up the agent play. We did see, in this case, TNL lean into a more traditional Korean meta VALORANT team. And, I mean, it was okay, but okay is not necessarily a win. In this case, it was not at all.
Yeah.
And so they got 2-0'd back there. Vision Strikers really flexing on Split. It seems like that's a map they know in and out. They know exactly how to navigate that, whether it's defense or offense. And I think all the rest of the teams out here in Korea are really going to have to come together and try to figure out, okay, how do we play Split against Vision Strikers? Because they seem untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, I believe they were the first ones to bring Split out in Challengers. I think so. Maybe week 1 after the updates had happened to the map, widening the garage exit and everything onto the B site, changing a lot of those hard angles. I think that Vision Strikers was the first team to select that map, and they are probably the most consistent, either to pick it for themselves or to have it banned against them. Nobody else, there's not really any other teams that you feel it's necessary to ban Split against.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're just so well suited to that map. It's looking like maybe one of their best, maybe their second best map right now after Icebox, perhaps. It's a tough call, but our MVP here for our first series of the day is RB.
Yeah, no surprises here. RB was always perfect at initiating, at really taking advantage of the fact that I think besides Jet, the Rays can get into certain spots that other agents can't get to, not just as far as position, but I think using time as well, being able to accelerate and fly in there with Rays' abilities. And I'm curious to see what his thoughts are going to be. Obviously, me, people in Korea, people watching are kind of expecting Vision Strikers to probably come out on top. I'm wondering what the team thinks. Whether that's something they're confident about or if it's a bit of a burden to carry.
I mean, I think the burden is definitely there. Stacks in his interview before and speaking to him as well, he said that it's time for them to lose, but it's not happening today. Guys, we have Ending Life standing by for the interview, so Ending, go ahead and take it away.
All right, guys, I am Ending Life here to translate the RB translation. I mean, RB interview translated. Alright, well, a 2-0 clean victory for Vision Strikers against their ex-sister team TNL Esports. It was a very straightforward match, even though they did struggle a little bit on the second map, where TNL was trying harder and harder to try to come back, but unfortunately it did end up with a 2-0. Hello RB, we meet again. So I talked to you a little bit behind at the backstage before your match started, and you guys looked all happy. Did you guys eat something tasty before you came? So in this Valorant Challengers and Masters, it just felt like we're getting a lot of easy wins. We're getting we're just shooting up, and we're just constantly going up. So like our environment and our team mood is very up high and very happy and jolly. And I did go to say hi to you at in the backstage, just to let you know, because I assume that we might meet again in this interview. So I hope you are a little bit more comfortable doing this interview. In Split in round number 1 with the Sage Wall boost, and then at the last round with your a showstopper with Stacks' Flash. Did you expect them to be there at the end? So as a team as well as Glow, he roughly calculated that by the last round they're going to be at a main, trying to play it slow. So we did assume that they were going to be there, so that's why we did go with that stacks flash, and I ran out there with the showstopper for that triple.
RB 선수의 데미 장식이 완벽한 호흡을 보여줬던 것 같습니다. 앞으로도 스알 커플의 활약 계속해서 기대해 보도록
So
하도록
you know,
하고요.
we are always
자,
hoping to
그다음에,
continuously
네이머의 지금
see
비결
you and
센서를
Stacks
또 많은
just
팬분들이
show us
계신 것
incredible
같습니다.
teamwork with the
팬분들에게
flashes and
감사
Jet
인사
or
한마디
Rays.
해주시죠.
Any words to your fans?
이번에도 영승이 끊기지 않도록 계속
I and my team will try our best to keep the win streak and get that undefeated streak going. Even though we do have a draw, we still don't yet have a defeat yet. So we're gonna continue hard to keep that streak going. So you guys still maintain that 100% win rate on split. And the most banned picked Icebox. Your win rate is pretty high, and you guys aren't afraid to play Icebox.
스플릿하고 아이스박스요.
What is your favorite map?
연습하시는 거예요?
I like Split and Icebox both. I just enjoy playing Split and Icebox more than the other
RB
maps.
선수가 게임을 하는 걸 보면 정말 즐기면서 하신다라는 생각이 드는 것 같습니다. 그리고 무엇보다도 저는 지금
With
인터뷰를
just that
하면서
answer,
RB
we can
선수가
tell that
교전
RB
능력뿐만이
really
아니라
enjoys and is
인터뷰
actually pretty
능력도
good
점점
at this game.
상승되고 있다라는
Actually
생각이
saying he likes
드는데요.
Icebox.
인터뷰 스킬을 오늘 또 하나 더 추가하셨습니다라는 말을 전해드리면서 자
Seems
마지막에
like RB is a little bit more comfortable, giving us a little bit longer answers here.
VS
파이팅!
There we go. That was their ending interview. I didn't need to translate that. VS fighting. Thank you for the
The
interview.
fist pump is universal. All right, well, Vision Strikers is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to be stopped. Again, I do think it's very difficult for us still now to really call out who is the #2 in Korea.
You know what? Some definitely would disagree with me, but I think that we're getting ready to see our #2 team in Korea.
Okay.
I think it's Muyaho. I think that they have a lot of potential, and I will have the graphics up, when we come back after the break and yada, 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 get ready to dive into that action. But I actually expect them to take this series unless Dam1 Gaming Kia has done a lot of improving.
Yeah, I'm feeling Dam1 Gaming Kia, but I welcome being wrong. I mean, it just seems like they've actually really stabilized as a team and are looking good. Now, as you guys can see here, in the semifinals now sits Vision Strikers.
Yep.
They're the first team to escape to this phase. But we don't know who's going to be on the other side of that bracket as well. I mean, there's still plenty more tournament to go.
There very much is, but Vision Strikers, locking themselves at least a top 4 spot already, just based on history, we're expecting them to be in that grand final, in that best of 5, if not to take it. But we have to see who, the opponent's going to be and how the other side of the bracket's going to look as they get ready to go into that final. But coming up next, we do have Muyaho versus Dam1 Gaming Kia to decide who is going to be in that other semifinal. And I think that this could be a very exciting series. I think Muyaho's going to take it, but I think it's going to be a 2-1.
Guys, we have a short break, but when we come back, our second best of 3, it's Muyaho versus Dam1 Kia Gaming. It's going to kick a lot of ass. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Wind, show me where to go.
One enemy remaining.